كل ايام يمشي يهز الشريول يعبي الخضره من المارشي سنترال ويمشي معناها يمشي يقص على الكيس الرئيسي معناها راهو ماهوش راهو تاجر متجول.
Mohammed had applied to the town hall for a license to allow him to set up a permanent store. When this went unanswered, he applied directly to the presidential office. There was again no reply. Instead, the regime took the little he had. On Friday, the 17th of December, Mohammed was stopped by a municipal officer and her 3 colleagues. She confiscated his fruit and the scales he borrowed from a friend. According to his sister, she insulted his dead father and ridiculed his lowly job and appearance before delivering a blow which was to echo around the world.
هو حب يحمي الميزان نتاعو ما خليتوش وضرباته بزوز كفوف كي ضرباته بزوز كفوف محمد جاته كالشوك. محمد جاته شوك قويه صدمه قويه برشا لوين عينيه دمعت وزراق ضرباته بكفوف معناها مراه امام الخاص والعام في كياس رئيسي.
People in Sidi Bouzid were used to the demands of the police and local authorities, the traditional rashwa or bribe without which nothing and no one can operate. But Mohammed had no money to buy back the confiscated scales. 3 times he went to the town hall to plead for their return, and 3 times he was turned away. At 11:30 a.m. he came back for the last time.
خذا معناها واحدة متاع ليسونس وهز الشريول بقية اللي بقاله معناها من السلعة هزها وحطها أمام مقر الولاية وجاب الليسونس صب على روحه طلع على الشريول وصب على روحه كي جبد البريكية.
The crowd drawn by Mohammed's protest included his cousin Ali, who arrived too late to stop the final act in the tragedy.
قام بالتوجه إلى وسط الطريق هنا وسكب على على نفسه البنزين وكان موجود هنا وأحرق نفسه هنا.
He'd come to petition the government here to ask for some help, but they didn't let him in, and he then went into the middle of the road, put benzene on himself and set himself alight. He was saying that I mean there were few people around, and there was one man with a jacket who tried to put the flames out on Mohammed, but it was too late.
It's too late.
This is the scene filmed by Ali on his mobile phone moments after Mohammed set himself on fire. Even in these extreme circumstances, manifestations of public discontent in Tunisia were rare, and Ali understood instantly the power of the images he had filmed.
لأن نحن كنا واثقين إنه قبل نحتجوا ونضربوا من طرف عوال الأمن ويقع تفريقنا وما يسمعونهاش، لكن بالإعلام هو يمكن إنك توصل أي حاجة.
Sidi Bouzid might be geographically isolated, but the internet had wired its residents to the world. At 6:47 p.m., Ali posted the video on his Facebook page.
ندركوا تماما نحن اللي يلزم الإعلام يلزم نكسبوا الحرب الإعلامية لأنه احتجاجنا إذا كان ما يخرج من تونس راه ما يسمع به حد. مثلا أنا دخلت شخصيا في قناة الجزيرة فردوا رد معناها في الحكومة قالوا راهم هذوما مجموعة من المارقين.
As night fell, Mohammed Bouazizi's story and the images of the rioting that had followed passed into the data flow of social networking sites, and from there onto international satellite channels. On the 17th of December, however, there was no reason to think this would be anything more than just another largely anonymous chapter in Tunisia's recent history. After 23 years in power, President Ben Ali had become a master of state repression, adept at controlling the message and crushing dissent. This might not have been the dream of the generation who had won independence from France in 1956, but it was their legacy. In more than half a century since the French departed, only 2 men have ruled Tunisia, and neither contested an open election for the job. The country's first president, Habib Bourguiba, a flamboyant provincial lawyer who had fought the French for decades for the right of Tunisians to choose their own leader, had, once he was that leader, become less tied to the concept of democracy.
Il y a deux Bourguiba. Il y a un Bourguiba réformateur, moderniste, qui a fait le choix volontaire et volontariste de bâtir un État moderne fondé sur la sécularité, sur la séparation des institutions de l'État de la religion. Le problème des droits de la femme, du rôle de la femme, de l'égalité entre hommes et femmes, le code du statut personnel est un acquis important. Et il y a eu en même temps le Bourguiba autoritaire, qui ne tolérait aucune critique, qui avait un appétit de pouvoir extraordinaire, qui a estimé que, après tout, la Tunisie, c'est une poussière d'individus.
By 1975, after 19 years in power, the second Bourguiba was firmly in control, making himself president for life, formalizing what had long been the reality.
La fin du règne des Bourguiba a été un naufrage, le naufrage de l'homme. Il y a eu la montée de l'islamisme, avec le phénomène de l'Algérie, qui était inquiétant, un islamisme dans la violence, et Bourguiba, se fondant sur ses convictions sécularistes, laïques, etc., a refusé d'accepter toute négociation avec quelque islamiste que ce soit, en faisant l'amalgame, tout islamiste est un terroriste. Et ça a débouché sur les confrontations des années 80.
In 1984, Tunisia erupted into violence. Bread riots started in the southern town of Gasrine and spread across the country, leaving 50 dead. Bourguiba recognized he needed men he could trust around him, strong men. A then little-known former head of military security, Zine al-Abidine Ben Ali, was made director and then minister of national security.
Why? Bourguiba was old, almost senile. We needed at that time someone in the Ministry of Interior very strong. I mean, there is a problem of order. Bourguiba, he needs someone in this position so he can stay a little bit longer.
2 years later, Ben Ali was made interior minister. Even for those who knew him, his rapid promotion came as a surprise.
Ben Ali is his classmate. He's from the same regiment than me. Ben Ali did not talk much. He would spend an evening with you here, I mean, everybody. He would not say more than 3 words. He would smile, nice, but he wouldn't talk. He was always listening because of his job, maybe.
Bourguiba was not alone in underestimating the quiet man. In October 1987, he made Ben Ali prime minister. A month later, the quiet man spoke.
He gathered 11 doctors and asked them to sign the papers telling that Bourguiba is no longer in good health to run the country. And by constitution, at that time the prime minister would become the president, he became president.
After 30 years of one-party rule,